Alrighty, how the heck are you? For those people that were here early, right when I announced the stream, thank you for waiting. I wanted to pre-prep everything so we could head right into all the testing that we need to have done. I want this to be successful as like a standalone video as well when the video on demand gets posted by YouTube. So I want to just get right into that nitty gritty. Let's throw those tunes on, baby. People that are here right now live, let me know how those levels are, and let's get absolutely after it. So actually, this is the team I ran. Is today Tuesday? So I ran this team Sunday night, and the fix was yesterday. And when I ran this team, I actually got 43,000, not blood, what do they call it for this? Mech fragments. So 50,000, if the fix happens, should be a really attainable goal. I'm going to pay very close attention. There's going to be a lot of super slow-mo, a lot of 1x to the damage once we get our successful strips going with Lucius. If you don't know with Lucius, the way it works is his ultimate over here, Exorcism, he can dispel 5 buffs that the enemy is wearing on his first hit of the target. So different than it used to be before, that was like kind of dependent on pursuits, which have a 25% base chance to happen. It's a part of his talent. Now it's just that first basic attack after the ultimate will dispel up to 5 buffs. What was happening before is, and I have a whole video documented this, so you guys can go check it out, he would visually dispel them, but nothing would change. The damage would still be higher. The reductions, it seems, if you had enough attack, the reductions would be taken away, so you could still benefit from that. But when it comes to the damage being done to your team and the quantity of falling rocks that would come, it was pretty brutal. The falling rocks especially, because by the end, when he has six buffs on himself, 6 of the Aegis mode buffs, the way it works is there's 1 base falling rock and then 1 additional falling rock per buff, per stack he's placed on himself. So it was just like by the end of that round, you're always getting hit by 7 rocks. It was tragic, you know, especially if you don't have heroes in amazing DPS gear that also have tankiness, like most of us. Most people don't have these crazy hybrid builds. So basically, this was pretty nutty stuff. So let's see what we got going on. We already got 50 people here on the stream, so thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm not gonna be looking too much at chat at the beginning because I want to focus in on this. Let's talk about what the fix actually is supposed to be. So right after this happened, and if it worked, right, if this was a successful fix, like I wish I was wearing a hat because my hat's off to the developers. I made a big fuss being like, you guys keep kicking the ball around, kicking rocks around, whatever you want to call it, biding time, fixing Lucius, which is hurting the players. But when there was the anti-heal bug that was helping players, you were all over fixing that immediately, right? Absolutely fix that as fast as possible. So it's like you seem very excited to fix things when the players are benefiting, but you take your sweet old time when the players are getting hurt. And then I made that big video where I showed, like, in zoomed in super slow-mo detail how much it really wasn't working, even with the visual appearance of a Dispel. Nothing internally, no mechanism seemed to have actually triggered. It literally was just he was an icon remover, not a buff dispeller. And to their credit, they always take the weekend off. By the time I woke up Monday morning, they said it had been fixed. I had received a direct message from our contact, so it showed up over here in the system notice. I believe that's where it was, right? Here we go. Yes, so this was today's July the 9th. This was July the 8th. In Titanic Ruins, when casting Earth Shatter, extra damage and falling stones are not triggered based on the hardening stacks Semra has after being dispelled by Lucius, so it should be dependent upon that. The amount of damage, and we'll read this when we break down Aegis mode in 1 second, it's supposed to be stronger the more stacks there are, and there's supposed to be more falling rocks the more stacks there are, and the less stacks there are, it's weaker and there are less rocks. But that wasn't happening, and I proved it pretty definitively. So you can see over here, this issue will be fixed by, I think this comes out to California time. Yeah, this is, if I'm not mistaken, California time at 2 a.m. yesterday. So that was like, I'm mountain time. So by the time I woke up, apparently it was fixed. I've heard from some people that, oh my God, it's amazing, they fixed it. I've heard from some people that there's still issues. I want to find out for myself. That is the point of this. But if they did fix it, and the point I'm making is, holy crap, was that fast. Like, the second they started the workday, they must have got to it. That is something I certainly appreciate. This is driving me crazy that my stamina is filled. Like, it's actually driving me insane. So let's please quickly humor me while I was doing a little farming before this. I guess somehow I got capped. Let's just throw anything on Valeria. This will take literally 2 seconds. I'm sorry to interrupt the video if you're watching it like that. This stuff really doesn't matter. Silas, are you wearing any gear at all? He must not be. Let's get him. Ignore the actual team. That's not real. Let's just quick equip. Doesn't matter. This is fine. All right, let's do like 2 quickies. But yeah, I'm very, very, very keen to see if the fix is real. I know some people are complaining that the buffs are still coming back. That was an issue I brought up. So basically, the way it was working, the way you thought it would work, right? Let's say he has 4 buffs on himself. You take 4 off. The next time Semra should go to place buffs on himself, go to place stacks, he should start at 1. But what happened was he would pick up where he left off. So he was at 4 before, he'd go to place 5. I went back and forth with them on this. It drove me pretty insane. But they were like, no, that's as intended. That's just how it is. And I was like, all right, freaking great. Their argument was it would be too OP if you had to start at the beginning again. My response to that is Elwyn's cleanse and everything else she does not too OP for phase 3? Is Nazim not too OP for phase 1? Is Carnelian not too OP for everything? I mean, almost every piece of content in this game has some hero that breaks a mechanic because they're so OP for it and they make the fight way easier than theoretically it should be. That's just part of the game we're playing here. But whatever, we concede that point. However, we need the stacks to go away and then the damage that the boss does to us to be reduced. That is a key thing here, and that's what we're going to keep our eyes out for. So people are going to have to accept the fact the boss does not start over at stack number 1. Once he goes Aegis mode again, he's going to pick up where he left off. But you can, theoretically, because the way the pattern goes, it's Earth Shatter, that's the big swipe of the shield, the big AoE, and then followed by Falling Rocks. And then it's Aegis mode. In both of those Aegis modes, that's where he places his Aegis stacks. So if you time it out right with Lucius, and I did this actually, because I wanted to get the reductions down at least. I did this on Sunday night. Shout out to, I think, Blunt Guts and War Guides did a lot of research on that for figuring out that, yes, the reductions actually do go away. But you can time it out at the end of that second Aegis mode before he starts the pattern over with the Earth Shatter. That's when you time out to do the Dispel and remove 5 of the buffs. He can only do a max 6 buffs, 6 stacks. So you can always have him at either 0 or 1 if you time it properly. I actually had a lot of success doing that myself. I've heard from other people they had a good amount of success as well. So I want to get into the actual testing. We just have to very quickly talk about what Aegis mode is. So Aegis mode over here, Semra, this is the second phase of the fight, right? There's the Death Saw phase, the Shield phase, and the Poison phase, the Venom phase, whatever you want to call it. So this is phase 2. Aegis mode, Semra lifts his Titan shield and gains hardening effects based on his battle mode. In the same mode, and these hardening effects, those are the Aegis stacks, the Aegis buffs, the blue buffs with kind of the white shield that we see. In the same mode, the more times the skill is cast, the more stacks of hardening Semra will gain, and this is their retort. You know, they're saying, well, he's already cast it X number of times, so when he goes to do it again, he's of course going to put that many on. That's what they're saying. That's why he doesn't start over from 1. Again, I don't like it, but it is what it is. So the more stacks of hardening he will gain. This increases his physical damage reduction, his magical damage reduction, so basically reductions to everything but true damage, which ignores all reductions, and then also enhances the Earth Shatter damage, so the damage of the giant AoE. Another key thing here, Earth Shatter, what actually does it do? He lifts the Titan shield, slams into the ground, creates a violent AoE, then he triggers Falling Stones, dealing an extra damage to multiple random targets in range based on the hardening stacks, the Aegis buffs that he has. So this at base will always hit 1. I've done a lot of testing to prove this, and then with each additional stack, he does 1 extra rock, so he can have his base 1 and then 6 stacks, so he should be able to hit at most 7. We have proven that. However, when we remove those stacks before he goes to do the Earth Shatter, there should be as many rocks as correspond to the base rock that you know he's going to drop, and then how many stacks. So if he has 0 stacks, only 1 Falling Stone should come, only 1 rock. If he has 1 stack, you know, then that should be 2. It's the 1 stack plus the base rock. That's what we want to see. We want to make sure it works. So there's gonna be a lot of super slow-mo. I think we all understand it. Let's get into this thing. I do have my auto fight saved from the other day. I think none of this really matters for the first, we're gonna call it the first cycle, right? There's the 3 phases. That's like 1 rotation or 1 cycle. It's fairly easy for my team. Not that my team is so good, but I think it will be a lot easier once we're on cycle 2. He's done his breakdown mechanic once we get that icon over here, because the second phase where we're going to focus, the Aegis mode phase, will take me a lot more time. I will take this moment to say we got 85 people here watching, 86 now. Feel free to like the chat, like the stream, excuse me, I'm tired as heck. Like the stream if you are watching in the future, like the VOD, I really appreciate that. So yeah. I'm seeing a comment here. I won't say the person's name, but I see it all the time. It's not a Lucius issue. It's a Semra issue. It is a dispelling buffs issue, full stop. And this is a great example of that interaction. I'm not trying to point out one thing or the other. I think people are really getting into the semantics of, is this a problem with Lucius or is this a problem with Semra? It is a problem between the interaction of one party trying to dispel and another party with buffs trying to have their buffs dispelled by the game, by the code. It doesn't matter whether the blame's on Lucius or Semra or the Valeron boss, as we're going to see, or the Arbiter of Frost. There's an inherent issue going on with dispelling buffs. This is the first time we've had a hero doing this, and it was coded terribly. Let's be completely honest. So we're trying to get to the bottom of what's wrong with this coding problem, right? It's easy to say, is Lucius broken? Is Semra broken? So sometimes I'll say my videos one way or another, but don't get bogged down into the details, of how broken one specific thing is or the other. So this is the first phase 2. So if this is cycle 1, phase 2. You can see we're putting a lot of damage out, so it's going to be hard for us to really zoom in on the numbers. The fight shouldn't last too long. I guess I could have interrupted it. I just think if I'm able to do this as effectively as I intend, by the time we're in the second cycle, it should be perfect to time it all out. So let's see. I will take over for the acid mode already, because that thing's always an absolute mess. There you go. You saw that Dispel. Now he's going placing buffs again. So he should drop 7 rocks. I didn't see anything, but that's because it's on 3x, I guess. All right, let's interrupt. Just because the element timing always gets thrown off here on auto. I don't care about the damage. We'll just start clicking things. We just want to survive and make it to phase 2, the Aegis mode of cycle 2. Really don't care about any of this. I will already start ulting with Lucius, because another thing I hear people complaining, like, I can't ult with Lucius, and this is another thing I want to investigate, and I've told the devs this like 5 or 6 different times. Lucius has a very cool kind of like story building mechanic and very interesting piece of his kit where he's an exorcist, but he's constantly kind of getting tormented by demons, and if you wait too long to cast his ultimate, which is called exorcism, he himself like succumbs to the demons and he enters a state called demonic embrace. It explicitly says when he enters demonic embrace, you lose all your rage and you cannot ult for X amount of time, and people seem to still not understand what's happening. Basically, the way you can keep that going, it happens when he has 5 damnation stacks. The issue at its core is it's impossible for us visually, at least from what I know recently, to track those damnation stacks because they are kind of an RNG thing based on his pursuits. The key thing is like, just every time you ult, you're going to cleanse them all off. Every time he ults, he loses the stacks. So you just want to ult fairly consistently in the time before you know he is going to need his ult, which for us is phase 2, the Aegis mode. So here's this. Let's get a cleanse. Again, we don't care about damage right now. So I can demo this, I guess, later if people want to see, but I'm going to keep triggering the ult to make sure I don't risk going into demonic embrace and throwing off my cycling. One thing I was wondering, does anyone know, can you cleanse his damnation stacks? It doesn't appear as a debuff on him, right? But I was wondering, like, could an Eloin or a Midon or something cleanse the damnation stacks and then you could like be in control? That was very stupid of me. I should have been saving Nazim. We might be able to tank this. Let's try. We did get 3 stuns from Twin Fiend. Twin Fiend's pretty good at this fight. Let's just tank this one hit. Nice. All right, we did. Now Nazim will be ready. I was zoning out talking to you guys. All right, everybody held on. Let's go. Nazim is completely broken, So not without a fight is saying it's frustrating because demon mode does more damage, but it's hard to get the ult timings. Exactly. So, but that could be the fun of him. That's what makes him unique. However, for us to be able to like finesse it and get those timings right, we should be able to have some visual. We should be able to have some visual representation of the damnation stacks. I should be able to click on him and see stacks piling up, or there should be dots appearing underneath him or something that each one stands for a damnation stack. So all right, he's at 4. So if he gets a 5th one, I'm screwed. Time to ult. We need something like that. So let's see. Now we're going to finish this mode off, and now it is time to focus. I do not care about beating it. I don't care about anything. I just want to time Lucius out properly. So the way we're going to do it, he's going to start with an Earth Shatter. I'm going to wait for a moment. Now I'm going to use the ult just to waste it and cleanse any potential damnation stacks. So he should be ready for Aegis mode 2. The second Aegis mode, excuse me. I think of it as Aegis mode 1, Aegis mode 2, because you'll see this is the first one in each little rotation. It goes Earth Shatter, Aegis mode, Aegis mode. So You get what I'm saying. So now this should work. Let's set a baseline. Let's wait for Aegis mode. Come on. There it is. He places 3. Let's cleanse those off. So visually, it's working. Now I want to see one rock fall. So the way Earth Shatter works, right? The way Earth Shatter works, let's quickly refresh our memories. When he does Earth Shatter, the Semrod triggers falling stones after the AoE, dealing extra damage to multiple random targets in range based on the hardening stacks. As you can see visually right now, he has 0 hardening stacks, so he should only deal damage from 1 falling stone, because that's like the one he can always do. There should be no more than 1. So let's see, here comes the AoE. Let's see if it hits us hard. Didn't look that hard. Let's see the stones. I don't see anything. Just 1 stone, baby. That's a huge improvement. If it was the way it was before, it should have been 4 stones, because he maxed out at 3 stacks before I cleansed, and then the base stone. So already that has been fixed. We like to see it. Let's get some damage out. I might try to take a hit here. And actually, I will take a hit here so we can clock the damage. And I want to see Lucius. I want to show you guys how Demonic Embrace works. It's the most annoying thing in the world. So I'm not going to ult with him, so you can see when he ults, he cleanses, he dispels the damnation stacks inflicted upon him. I'm not going to do that, so he will succumb to the Demonic Embrace. You'll see this glowing blue around him saying he's got full rage will disappear. He'll be at either 0 or 1% and will be locked out. He'll go into like a major DPS mode, but it throws off all our timing. But I do want to set a baseline, so we have to get absolutely shellacked here, unfortunately. Hopefully we don't die. All right, let's go. So this is with 5 stacks. You can see it visually, 5 stacks. We're going super slow-mo, baby. Try to help me see these numbers, guys. Can I pause it? Would the numbers pause? No, they won't. I saw 15k above Wrath. And that, I think, was 6 stones. I'm actually... if people want to rewind and let me know, that what I clocked was 15k damage and 6 stones should have fallen. I wasn't able to count that, obviously. This should be a huge bit of damage here that might hurt us. Let's see. Now we're good. All right, so now Lucius, he still has his ult. Did he never go into Demonic Embrace? I have to wait for the second one. So did that throw everything off? Did he? Yeah, now you see. Of course, now. All right, we'll see if we can hold on a bit longer. But look at that. He's at 0. He's locked out. You can see this red glow is all around him. He's in the Demonic Embrace. He's going to deal a ton of damage now, which is great, but not great for this phase. So that's where the timing comes. So devs, I will be submitting this to the devs, guys. Devs, absolutely... please make it so, and they told me they're working on it, to their credit, so we can hold them to this. We please need some visual way. My suggestion, honestly, just dots right here underneath him. Just one, like it could even show up on his cloak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to be able to track it. We need to be able to track it. If we can tank this, we should be good to go for the next round. Hopefully I don't get the kill. I actually shouldn't have triggered any DPS. If Lucius dies, though, this ain't happening. So he's still in that Demonic Embrace. Now he just exited it. So now he's going to start building Rage normally. Let's see. Let's get... So this is with 6 stacks. That's going to be 19.5 on Wrath. 19.5 on Wrath. Let's count the stones. I'll keep it in slow-mo. If a stone hits Lucius, we're toast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting 5 stones. What was that? I saw 5 stones. Lucius died. We'll see if we can hold on. Now we're going to probably win too fast, or maybe I can cycle it back around. I don't know. Let's just start over. So if I'm correct, it was 5 stones was 15,000 damage on Wrath, and then 6 stones was 19,000. Let me know, chat, what you think. Let's just restart this. So they're saying 15,230, says Fens, for that first hit on Wrath. Lucius was hit with 21 on which hit? And we saw 6 stones, so that's weird. It should have been 7 stones, right? So maybe they also fixed that. So if you go back to my original video, we can let this run, actually. If you go back to my original video, I was saying it's a base stone and then 1 for every stack. People are actually... You know what we should do to count the stones, guys? Look at the instances of damage. That's the trick. When I did this for my video, I had like zoomed in and super slow-moed the footage even further in my video editing software, and I watched it over and over. That's how I was able to do it. Charlie said he sent me a screenshot on my Discord. Let's see. This is good. Let me pause it so everyone can see. Thank you very much, Charlie. So this was with 5 stacks. You can see we got 15-2 on Wrath. We've got 16-4 on Twin Fiend, 8.7 on Volca, who's wearing a Guardian set, and then 16-3 on Lucius. Charlie, let me know if you can grab a screenshot from 6 stacks as well. That'd be good to know. Okay, cool. That's a great baseline. Let's keep going. No, that was from the Earth Shatter. That wasn't from the thing. So yeah, sorry we have to sit through this, but I think this is the best way. I think doing it round 1 doesn't make sense. This will take off the reductions at least. We'll get the kill. You can see it really ticking down there, but now he puts 6 on. Doesn't matter. Let's just suffer through this bit. Get it going. That should be pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know why I can't speak. Let's get. Ooh, I wasted Nazim. I will come back around. We'll be fine. Hold on, guys. Ellen's coming with the cleanse. I honestly think phase 3, if the Lucius thing gets sorted, phase 3 is what's going to be the ultimate headache. All right, Nazim doesn't stand a chance, it looks like. Are you going to come back around, big guy? Come on, big guy. Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. You can send it again. Hold on, let's pause this. Charlie says he found the other screenshot. So let's see. So this is with 6 stacks, 19, 5, 21, 21, and 10. So those are officially our baselines. So now the goal right now, R-Type saying he DM'd me. Yeah, I think these are good enough baselines. So that 15 and that 19, the 16 and the 21. Let's see what happens if we get up to 6 and then I strip it off. The way it was working before, again, you can revisit my other video. The way it was working before was you'd strip it off, but nothing would change. You would just visually strip it off, but clearly internally he maintained those stacks. We want to see that not happen now. Let's do a quick ult with Lucius. And now we're just going to be working towards the end of the fight. I'll treat it fairly normally. Now that we have like a full baseline set. Here's a normal Earth Shatter. Let's see what this looks like. Let's get these numbers. Let's get these numbers. So this is an Earth Shatter with literally no stacks, right? He hasn't even had the chance to put on a stack. So theoretically, if he gets 5 stacks on himself and I ult with Lucius and then he has 0, it should be the same as this. So let's see. I saw 10. It was too fast, but I saw 10 on Wrath for sure. Maybe someone can go rewind, but I definitely saw 10k or so on Wrath. I think Wrath is going to be my barometer. So we have 10 with 0 stacks right now. We have 15 with 5 stacks and 19 with 6 stacks. So here is the second Aegis mode, right? Or was that the first? I honestly don't know. Let's see. I think that was the first. See, this makes me anxious. I'm like, I want to use it, but I also want to wait. I don't know. All right, let's get a strip there. I don't know if, whatchamacallit, I don't know if we're going to all of a sudden enter the demonic embrace. There's no way to track it. I think that, for me, is the biggest issue I'm seeing right now. All right, so we stripped it. So he has no stacks. We should see the exact same number. If it was the same way it was before, it would operate as if he still was wearing 3 stacks, even though we visually wiped it away. However, they said it works now. So what should happen is we should see 1 stone, and we should see 10k or so, 10k something, 10 point something damage on Wrath. Screen is doubled. Oh, my bad. There you go. Sorry, guys. A lot of things I'm paying attention to. All right, let's see. Let's just let it go slow-mo. So we want to see like 10k damage on Wrath. 10.8. I think that's the same. Chat, confirm for me if you can. Now we want to see 1 stone and 1 instance of damage. There's 1 stone. Are we going to see only 1 gray number pop up? I'm seeing nothing. There it is. Yeah, just on arrogance. All right, so that's, so far it seems to be fixed. Now let's test it with more stacks. So this actually, look how, so this is how you cycle it, by the way, guys. If you get him at around this speed, it lines up perfectly. So you can see he's going to be right at about 100 right when we're starting the second Aegis mode of this little cycle. So it's pretty perfect. So there's a hit. So here comes the second Aegis mode. So this is the last one before the Earth Shatter. So he has 4 stacks. He's going to put on a 5th stack. Reminder, that 5th stack last time hit for... the 5th stack last time hit Wrath for, sorry, that was with 6. 15.2. So we want to see it go for 10.8 or whatever, which it looks like we just got a screenshot of that. 10.87. So that's what we want to see after I get the strip in 1 second. So there he places it. Now I strip. It should all come off. I will say it comes off really smooth. So that animation, and then assuming if the internal mechanism matches, it looks perfect, like the way I envisioned it when we all summoned for him. So here comes the Earth Shatter. We want to see 10.8k damage above Wrath's head. I can actually give you one other example too. We want to see 11.7 above Twin Fiend. All right, let's see. So 10.8, 11.7 means it's working. Yep. Okay, I think it's working. And this is timing out really well, so you can cycle him pretty easy, it seems. So he also always gets a little bit of rage coming after. So now we're going to have a full 6 stacks, and we should cleanse this to 1. We haven't set 1 as a baseline yet, but it should be more than 10.8, which is 0, and less than 15, which was 5 stacks. So I'm thinking it should be 11 or 12k probably once I cleanse this. But it looks like, at least for this specific issue, it looks like it's fixed. It really does. And I think hats off to the devs. Let's see. Here's Aegis Mode 2. The lack of damnation visualization is driving me insane. I'm anxious every time. Like, every time. All right, let's go. He's going to go to place. All right, let's strip. Nice. Come on. Down to 1. So we want to see something like 11 something above Wrath and 12 above Twin Fiend means it's working. $10.8 again. Now that's very weird. What do we think of that? So actually it says he's wearing 1 stack, but I think they're internally counting it as a full strip, because that is the identical damage to when there are no stacks, both when the start of the battle, no stacks, and then 5 stacks, full strip, back to 0 stacks. Because if we look at Charlie's thing one more time, that was exactly the same number. You see, 10.87. And Twin Fiend, 11.72. Yeah, thank you, Unguardian, in the chat. So actually, maybe that first stack counts as nothing, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's not hurting us, but that is not what I expected. You can see, though, I handled this without even paying attention too much. I mean, I'm trying to pay attention for the example, but not paying so much attention for putting out good damage. We're like well on our way to 30k without me giving it a proper effort. So actually, I think the way we should continue this test before I talk about the last thing which is going to be whatever the heck is going on with the Valeron beta chapter boss and Arbiter of Frost, because that we need to go through that before. Oh, it only affects the rocks. Interesting. So maybe that's the way it does. The first stack doesn't reduce damage either. Okay, so Blunt Guts apparently has a good video. Renard Dubois is saying that the first stack only corresponds to the rocks. It's the subsequent 5 stacks. Very cool. Yeah, and 2 rocks just fell, as we saw. So that's really cool. So basically what I want to do, let's see how well we can do now that we see that this mechanism is working, like that the coding feels correct, at least in line with the description, with the way they described the fix, with the way me and others described we thought it should work. But then before I can give my conclusions and give a huge applause to the devs, we do have to go over chapter beta of the event with Valeron, with that boss, and we have to go over Arbiter of Frost, the 2 other places in the game right now that have buffs that, from what I hear, I have not tested myself, but I have amazing video from Special K Gaming and from Viceroy that I haven't looked at yet, but we should be able to tell whether or not it's working. But from what I understand, it's not working, which is an issue we'll unpack shortly. All right, let's try to actually get damage now. Let's see. I mean, terrible timing here, but it's okay. So terrible time. You really want to take advantage of this vulnerability window. Clearly, I did a horrible job, but that's because we were not paying attention for that. But moving forward, we will be. So let's see. I'm not going to trigger Lucius now, right? Because now I want him. I do want the demonic embrace. I want the big DPS. So, by the way, when you enter this phase 3, now we'll just start talking about the fight since I haven't made a proper guide yet. I like to wait, place it once. That first one's not going to kill you. Wait for the second placement of Acidic Venom, then go for your cleanse. Now do a cleanse. So now you're good. So you can cycle. You can usually, at least earlier on, you can stomach 2 at a time. He's still hitting hard though, holy crap. This, I think, is a tough phase, so I'm just trying to put out some DPS to make the phase not take too long. Hopefully we can time out the next one for the vulnerability phase. This is going to be a big hit. Let's get some... Yeah, I saw that I needed the healing on Volca, but I got it too late. Alright, hopefully that's not the end of us. So here's the Venom. You can see I've got a lot of rage regen on my Eloin, so I can stomach that. Nice. That's really infuriating, but whatever. He died from just the blast. Oh my god. Lust died? I need more HP on my guys. That is crazy. Alright, well, at least we made it through the phase. Wow, this is crazy. I'm getting shellacked. Oh, you know why? I'll tell you why. Because I use Volca as my tank. So now it's changing who keeps taking the tank damage. I'm not going to make the mistake of wasting the Zeem. Here's a 30k, guys. So good enough to get us that 30k. Can we beat my PB that I got on Sunday of 43k? I don't think this run we can, but in general, I think now that it's working, we absolutely should be able. The good news also, if you wanted a guide from me, I know there's great guides from like Ronaldo and War Guides and all those people. A lot of people ask me, when am I doing my Guild Boss 2 guide? I wanted to wait till this was sorted. To me, you guys can let me know if you disagree. To me, I think it's sorted. Like, I think they did fix this. I mean, we got 148 people watching right now. Be sure to like the stream. What do you guys think? Like, to me, I think they fixed it. Like, at least this mode, the interaction between Lucius and Semra, it looks good to me. Yeah, that's what Roger said. Like, to me, it looks like they fixed it. At least I'm satisfied enough with what I'm seeing. That's crazy. Just the normal hit kills Nazim. Oh my god, I'm toast. I'm freaking toast. Oh my gosh. We didn't have this down. I am planning on redoing my whole team and taking Volca out to bring Alistair. I feel like Alistair is more reliable. We have to get that damage down. What is it? This is a Wood Elf? Get up. We got to get that decreased damage placed. Not yet. You see, she's not that reliable, Volca. This is crazy. She didn't land 1. Is she wearing the wrong artifact? How'd she not land 1? Hasn't even come up once. Okay, we took that at least. Can we get back in business? Can we rebuild? Can we financially recover? We need Nazim. Stat. Big slam. Absolutely toast. We're obliterated. Now Twin Fiend's gone. We have no stun. If we can get Nazim back out there at the right time, we should be able to come back, I think. Let's just hold on. Come on, guys. Hold on. There's the damage down, at least. Don't die. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? They're all gonna die? All right. This is crazy. Save the date. Dude! Oh my god. Well, we know that it works. There's our run. But yes, you can see we're tracking all the damage now, and it is correlating. So absolutely, in my opinion, they fixed it. In my opinion, they definitely fixed it. We're not going to save that, no way. You have my word, I am going to get 50k this week. Let's leave that. Let's check now for these videos. So let's turn this off. Let's turn this on. So this first video, so let me actually turn the music off so I can explain pretty clearly. Basically, Lucius dispels buffs, right? Buffs have not really been a thing in this game. Now Semrock comes along with the Aegis stacks, the hardening stacks, the Aegis buffs. We've got buffs that we want to remove. People have been asking me endlessly. You can go through my comments to talk about this, that he's not removing the buffs on Arbiter of Frost, and he's not removing the buffs on Valeron. I actually haven't done chapter beta. I'll be streaming that tomorrow. I was going to do it tonight, but obviously it's getting kind of late tonight, and I still got to film another very long video. We're going to do all heroes ranked for piercers, so definitely go check that out. It's going to be a really good one. Yeah, apparently there's buffs on this Valeron boss that you can't strip, and there's buffs over here in the Arbiter of Frost, which personally I never paid attention to, but apparently he can't strip those either. So let's see. Let's see. So this first bit, this is courtesy from Special K. Special K used to be a great content creator for this game. He still plays the game. He's a great player. He just hasn't had time for content creation lately. We have to increase the speed somehow. How do I do that? Anybody know how to do that? Oh, playback. It's going to be here. All right, much better. Is it much better, actually? I don't know. Oh, that's definitely faster. So here you can see he has this buff on him. Let's wait. He's going to use Lucius in 1 second, and from everything I understand, he does not strip it. So now he's got 2 stacks. Lucius goes to do it. Nothing. So yeah, I'll already tell you what I'm thinking. Thank you so much, Special K. This is exactly the footage I wanted. I'm assuming he demonstrates it again later if we want to see it one more time. So now he's got 2 stacks. Here it comes. Trigger with Lucius. And I'm assuming once again, yeah, nothing happens. So people are upset about this. And I think, let me unpack this. I think they deserve to be upset about this. I don't think they deserve to be upset that it doesn't work. I think they should be upset that, hey, devs, you clearly are presenting a buff. This is what buffs look like in this game. A blue thing with a white light blue thing on top of it. There's maybe little numbers. This is what buffs in this game look like. Enter a hero that we have that's supposed to dispel them, and then he isn't. It is your job to make this not look like a buff and actively describe it as not a buff. Make it a different color. Make these green. Make them golden. But you're presenting it as a buff. Nowhere does it say it's not a buff. Or nowhere does it say it's undispellable, to my knowledge. Nowhere does it say it cannot be dispelled. So, in my opinion, this is something players are allowed to be upset about. You shouldn't be upset that Lucius isn't allowing you to hack Arbiter of Frost, but you should be upset with the laziness, like the lack of attention to detail. They need to have known this. Yeah, make it a thing over here, like the way this happens. Make it a big thing over here and make it yellow, right? Or Raid Shadow Legends has something called protected buffs. Shout out to Matt, who just mentioned that. Yeah, they have like a special border around them, and those are buffs that cannot be stripped or cannot be dispelled. they need it to be called permanent buff, right? In some way, or non-dispellable, undispellable. They need to present it as such. Otherwise, rightfully so, the player base is going to get angered. So let's see it now with the Valeron boss, which to me I think is going to come off as more egregious because, oh, we got to turn the sound off on this, because this was released like right after the Lucius banner. So there's a new boss released, a temporary event boss. This is the first time I'm ever seeing the stage. This is kind of funny. Looks really cool. But a temporary event boss that comes out right after a huge event summoning where, look at that, we get our first ever Dispel buff hero. And this very rare for our enemy bosses in this game to have buffs, and this one does. So naturally, everyone and their mother is thinking, oh, in comes Lucius. He was designed for this stage. They do that all the time. From what I understand, no, he cannot dispel. So let's see. It's hard to see. Do I have to go full screen? How do I get this thing to disappear? Oh, you know what? This is what we can do. Hold on. Let's open this in VLC. Nice. So you can see he's wearing some buff. I've never seen this buff. It's probably specific to this stage. So Viceroy sent me this footage. He's going to trigger Lucius right now. Yeah, nothing happens. Yeah, I mean, what were they thinking? Like, this I don't think needs to be fixed the way Semra was fixed to, like, make it work. It needs to be explicitly fixed in the way that they change the wording, they change the visual presentation, and they apologize. Also, not without a fight, saying they even suggest Lucius for this stage. This deserves just a written apology and then compensation that isn't offensive. What do I mean by compensation that isn't offensive? Not something like this. 1 huge stamina potion. Give people 10 huge stamina potions. Give people 500 diamonds. Do something. Because this is really an embarrassing oversight on their part, that this is an event-specific boss released during the same event, but right after you just had a big event celebration hero, Lucius, come, designed to dispel buffs. We get an enemy boss, a special stage boss that has buffs, and they suggest you bring that hero that dispels buffs, and when you look at that, he doesn't dispel the buffs, right? So this is like, oh my god. It's great. Like, this is a little embarrassing. Like, I think this is going to be like a PR thing, right? It's like it's a comms thing. How are they going to handle this? What's their plan of action? Like, what they should do is in the description say Valeron places, I don't know what this is called, sticky sexy buff on himself. How did I that's disgusting. Valeron places big meaty boy buff. That's better. And it is undispellable in like parentheses and highlighted in gold, right? Something like that. That's what they need to do. And then they need to change the visual display that it has like a special gold border or a silver border, or it's glowing, or it's just a different color to begin with, not blue. That's what they need to do, because this is kind of a fiasco in my opinion. It really is. So in my opinion, again, because this is my opinion, that's probably why you're watching my stuff. This is not something that they need a fix, at least with the Arbiter of Frost one. He doesn't need to be a cheat code there, but it needs to say something along the lines of which buffs are dispellable and which are not, and maybe not even call them buffs, call them enhancements, and change the color, and don't make them look like all the other buffs we've been conditioned and we have gotten to know over the course of us playing the game. It's the exact same color scheme, the exact same presentation as, Dolores as like an invigoration buff, or Midon doing an increased defense buff, or Vortex doing a shield buff, so on and so on, right? So this is pretty nasty. The chat is saying at this point, and this is a good point, Mr. Dingus33 says, I mean, at this point, basically they should write in Lucius's kit, dispels 5 buffs only from Semra, because that's how it works right now. You introduced a hero that's a buff dispeller, but actually he's just some Semra buff dispeller. It's specific to one stage. So again, this is my conclusion. All right, we'll cut the music for a second. Bravo to the devs, like major bravo for fixing the Semra problem. I think it was silky smooth. I think I tested it pretty thoroughly right now. I think, does anyone disagree that they solved it? Like, to me, it was very obvious. Every little point I addressed that other people addressed in their videos and their breakdowns and their exposés on the problem, I think were addressed in a very expedient, very good manner. I'm not hearing any complaints in the chat or anything. I think we're in agreement, right? That's exactly how I feel. However, we have this bigger issue that Lucius, and again, shout out to Mr. Dingus33, Lucius is not a Semra dispeller. Lucius is supposed to be a buff dispeller, and he's not working in any other content where buffs are occurring. So it's pretty important. It's pretty darn important that they make a clear specification what is a buff in this game on enemies and what is not a buff, and also make a visual indication. And then finally, I think people agree with me, but certainly I feel strongly about this, so I'm going to say it. A huge, huge, huge point. We need to have a visual indicator of how many stacks of damnation Lucius has on him. I don't think that's such like a big, specific, whiny ask, because from what I know about coding, I have worked with a lot of these people now working on my website and stuff, fastidious.gg, best site in the realm, go check it out. A huge V2 update coming within 2 weeks, hopefully even sooner than that. But something as simple as when this thing happens, this thing appears is not that hard. So have it happen on his cloak or underneath his feet, just 5 red dots. And you know, when you're at 3 or 4 red dots, you can start sweating, because if he hits that every other pursuit that gets a damnation stack, he's going to go into demonic embrace and tough luck. Because otherwise, you're kind of gambling with something you can't control. If you don't know the pursuits at base level, there's other ways to make them more frequent. They happen 1 every 4 hits on average. It's a 25% chance for those to happen. A damnation stack arrives every 2 pursuits. So every other pursuit. There's no, to me at least, I've stared at it. There's no visual indicator for when pursuits are happening. Even that being said, you shouldn't have to stare for pursuits and count them in your head. We need a way to say like, oh, this is 1 stack, this is 2 stack. It could be like a bar filling up on his back, on his cloak, on his cape or something, or just next to him, or dots underneath him, or dots on him. Or you can even click on him and see them stack up. That's all we need. Put the dots under his ultimate bar. It says Rajdr. I mean, yeah, put it on. Who cares? Who cares? Just do something. All right, that is my conclusion on Lucius. I'm pretty darn impressed. Definitely expect more Guild Boss 2 content really soon, now that I know this stuff is working, at least in that respect. I think they kind of solved the Semra thing. Now you have a bigger Lucius, bigger what's going on with the buffs to begin with in this game thing. So devs, best of luck. You can, as you know, you can always message me. I want to help solve this problem. We love this game. That's why we do this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't want the video to be much longer than that. We got up to like 150 something viewers, so that's pretty awesome. You can like the stream on your way out. If you're watching in the future, let me know what you think in the comments. If you're watching now and you want to write a longer thing, wait like 2 minutes till the VOD is posted and then let me know in the comments. I've been Fastidious. Give it a like, click the notification bell, subscribe, share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye. We done. We did it. We done. We did it.